All right, listen up, chat. When you don't know right from wrong, when you need morality, you gotta go to the internet, because that's the new church. This is what mass looks like. This is when a person comes forward, they don't know who you are, they wouldn't give you $5 to buy a sandwich if you're starving, but they're extremely opinionated, and they're going to tell you how to live your life. Now, you don't know if they actually happen to have a happy life, if they're successful, if they're someone worth emulating. But you know what they say, when someone can't do, they teach. And here is the teacher. So this is a person that I understand is transgender. I hope I'm not wrong, but I understand they're from Twitch. I don't follow Twitch, so I assume that everyone on Twitch is transgender by default. Except for Hassan Piker, because, like, I know women aren't capable of that level of evil, right? But, like, everyone else on Twitch, I automatically assume that you're trans. So they're saying, dear man, goodness gracious, like, they're addressing what, like, half the human population? They're addressing, like, 3.5 billion people? There's no age demographic, there's no ethnicity, there's no different culture. It's like, no, dear man. Okay. You deserve love, but you will never find it if you listen to the Red Pill podcasters. I don't know, like, there's a lot of women that listen to Red Pill podcasters. Some of the Red Pill podcasters themselves happen to be women. I think you can find love, you know? And at the end of the day, listening to a podcast, like, doesn't shape your entire identity. I know we're pushing to this idea that a person's life is in the cyberspace and they get absolutely defined 100% by the cyberspace. But I think, no, I think you can listen to Joe Rogan, for instance. And in your daily life, you can still have, like, your own personal opinions and takes. And if it's not possible, like, is there a way to make it possible? Like, can we reach a place where you can listen to podcasts without actually, like, influencing your entire identity? But anyway, the manosphere is designed to keep you trapped. So, like, I understand that in a dark corner of the planet, you had Andrew Tate, Joe Rogan, and several other guys meeting at a table, and it's like, we need to design a system to keep the men trapped. Why? Because we're evil. Yeah, so it's designed to keep you trapped. Like the whole purpose of the manosphere isn't like just some podcasters having opinions. No, like, these are men in the shadows operating with conspiracy to keep 3.5 billion people trapped, isolated and miserable, to exploit you further. I thought that the e-girls were designed to exploit me. Now I understand it's Karen Strawn. Feminism is not the reason you are struggling. Hating women is not going to fix your problems. Well, no, but it's like the decent human being thing to do, to hate feminism. Feminism is a ideology that's an offshoot of socialism, at least the modern type, you know, the one that's being presented. Socialism is the ideology that dehumanizes people. It transforms them into pure economic units. It doesn't care about anything else about material gains. And so hating this ideology is what normal, decent people do. You know, it's an ideology that removes the soul from humanity. It removes everything else. It's just like constantly compares people, like, how much material wealth did you gain? Every single interaction is about materialism. And so if you actually look at polls that study the happiness of women, you would notice that since feminism was pushed really hard in the early 2010s, the happiness of women has been in decline. And so actually, no, if you love women, you have to hate the ideology of feminism. Which comes from the academia and universities, by the way. You know, like, these aren't like some mothers with concerns that got together and started talking about, like, let's create an ideology. Like, no, these were extremely well-paid academic professors that, again, they were leftists and they were socialists. And they created an ideology to actually exploit people, right? And divide society and fight against capitalism, which they call it the patriarchy. And so these are actual nefarious people that did go into shadowy rooms in the halls of the universities. And they did conspire. But anyway, a relationship is not beneficial if you don't enjoy spending time with your partner. Okay, but, like, this was not the case for the entirety of human history up until 2 decades. And it wasn't the case for any culture around planet Earth. Like, I'm just stating facts, you know? I know it's not politically correct. I know it's a bad thing to say, but if we look at the reality objectively, right? Like, if we're some aliens and we're analyzing humanity, would you say that in the year 1800 in China, a relationship was not beneficial if they didn't enjoy spending time with their partner? See, my take, which is extremely controversial right now and academics don't agree, the purpose of a relationship is to have children. And the reason you want to have children is because our modern state demands it. Like, our government literally feeds on our children. Do you know how many taxes I need to pay for the European Union, which is a very progressive state, and they champion transgender rights and they protect trans individuals, right? But in order to do that, they need cash. Like, just one EU MP costs 10,000 euros a month. Like, for him existing, right? Like, he goes to his job and he requires 10,000 euros a month in order to champion and protect trans rights. Where do you think that money comes from? They come from your children. Like, you need to have children so they grow up, so they work, so that the state can then take money from them. And if the state doesn't have money, it collapses. Like, trans rights in the European Union are in danger if we don't have children. It's not just trans rights, you know, the environment itself. Like, a lot of the EU is part of the green agenda. And they're protecting the planet so that Nyara can tweet. Like, she is safe in America because the European Union is championing environmentalism and we're not polluting. And so, like, you need to have a lot of babies. Like, the government, like, it constantly requires a supply of flesh, of human beings that go to work, that produce, and then half of their shit gets taken into taxes. Like, you have environmental tax, VAT tax, income tax, inheritance tax, right? Like, tax. The government, like, constantly needs to churn out through these people. And if you have, like, the idea of selfishness, the idea it's like, no, I'm not going to have children, then the EU MP can't work. Like, he's not going to make 10,000 euros a month. You know, like, the NGOs are going to be collapsing. Now, I understand that leftist mentality is like, no, see, this is not how it actually works. Like, what we need to do, like, the way human reproduction works is to just open the borders, right? Like, kidnap people. Kidnap them from Syria. Kidnap them from the Middle East. Like, bring them here. Take their children over here. Exploit their children into the tax system. But the problem with that is, like, it's immoral, right? Like, we're starting wars in the Middle East so that we take their children then. We brain drain their nations, you know? We take their doctors, we take their engineers. Like, when a poor starving mother in Syria needs medicine, she can't find a doctor because all her doctors are in the European Union. Like, do you not see the immorality of this? So, like, we need to have our own kids. And in order to do that, the purpose of a relationship has to be to have more children so that they can pay into the welfare system so that we can keep the lights on. Find role models and supportive communities that teach you how to be emotionally intelligent. That it's okay to be vulnerable. See, like, this is another thing. Teaching people how to be emotionally intelligent. Emotional intelligence, by the way, means being able to read the room. Like, knowing when people are upset, knowing when to talk, when to shut the fuck up. Knowing how to control your emotions, when to let them go, right? Like, if you're at a funeral and someone makes a joke, like, your emotions are to laugh. And if you're a person that's not emotionally intelligent, you're going to go, ha ha ha. And it's going to upset people. So you need to understand how to read the room. But what happens if the person is autistic, huh? Like, how can you teach an autistic person how to read emotions? Like, if the person is genuinely introverted and they go to a party where they have the ability to create social networks, to be charming, to go in the middle and impress people, right? But they generally don't know how. Like, they lack the ability. They're autistic. How can you teach them? Seriously, like, if anyone can ask Nyara, like, how can you teach an autistic person to be emotionally intelligent? I would like to know, because, like, then I can go into business with Nyara. Like, we can get a crowdfunding going, and we can study, like, the first school that teaches people emotional intelligence. This is, like, one of the things that I don't believe can be taught. Because emotion has to do with hormones, right? Like when your body is full on adrenaline, like you get the emotional fright of fear. When your body is filled with dopamine, you get the emotion of exploration, intrigue. Like most of the emotions, they just happen. You don't really have control over them. Like you can't wield yourself into being sad, you know? And so emotional intelligence is actually tied to the endocrine system. So you can't really teach them unless like they have like a syringe and they go like, you know, and all of a sudden they're happy and charismatic. But science haven't taken us that far. And it's not about role models. Like emotional intelligence, you either have it or you don't. You don't get role model. Like the only thing you can do with emotional intelligence, I guess, is if you're a smart person, like incredibly intelligent, and you don't get to feel things. Like for instance, you understand that this person is upset, and they're upset with something that generally like doesn't affect you. Like let's say their dog died, right? And you're a person that really doesn't like dogs. You're a cat person, and so like you don't feel anything that their dog died. You don't feel the need to hug them or talk to them or anything like that. Like for you, it's neutral. You're not happy. You're not sad. It's like okay, their dog died. If you're like this person that has no emotional intelligence, like what you can do is you can use real intelligence and you can be like, okay, their dog died. This means that they're upset. So now I'm supposed to pretend that I'm feeling guilt, that I'm feeling sad for them. And you go like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then in your mind, it's like, okay, I need to prolong this interaction for like 2 or 3 more minutes. That's pretty much what people without emotional intelligence are doing. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is a case. But I just gave you like a simple example. Now imagine you go to an actual Christmas gathering and all your coworkers are there and that's your chance to social network. And in your mind, you don't want to be there. Like the party really bothers you. It's boring. It's lame. You'd rather be home. But in your mind, you're like, okay, I need to start interacting with people. I need to social network. Okay, like this person is connected to the HR. I should go and talk to them and be nice. Yeah, no, like the whole problem with this system of teaching people emotional intelligence is that it doesn't work. And the only thing you can do is to create like this really weird, psychotic individual that understands how they should behave and how they should feel, but they just don't. And the thing with emotional intelligence, like it's also set up by the standard of the current era, right? So you may have been a very emotionally intelligent person in a group in a medieval setting, but like in a office environment where everything is interconnected and everything is incredibly complex, a lot of people can't do that, right? And what about them? As I mentioned before, like what about people with autism? Don't listen to miserable guys who not only don't believe what they are preaching. Well, I mean, this is another problem, right? Like, if you're going to say that people in the manosphere are miserable guys, and that's your logo on them, and then you see Andrew Tate in a Bugatti smoking a cigar with, like, 3 sexy 10 out of 10 waifus, all of your narrative has crumbled. Like, people will think you're a liar. And the reason people will think you're a liar is because they're seeing it in front of them. It's like, okay, this is supposed to be a miserable guy, but he's driving in a Bugatti and he's smoking a cigar. Doesn't look miserable to me, right? And meanwhile, you get to see someone on Twitch that's a leftist and they're preaching morality and shit. And they're living in a 1-bedroom apartment and you're looking behind and the house is a mess. And they're probably living alone and they have like only 100 people watching to their live stream. And that is the person that say, yeah, Andrew Tate is miserable. Like, a person can be, you can disagree with the ideology of a person without having to lie, you know, it's like they're miserable. I don't think Joe Rogan is miserable. I don't think, like, Nick Fuentes is miserable. And if you do think they're miserable, how about you go to Africa and you see how people there are like? Watch out for people who exploit your worries and desire for love and affection. You can't say this if you're defending feminism. Like, you really can't. I mean, come on, you know. Maybe in 2014, this could have been said, but we have more than a decade of online experience to see how male feminists ended up being like, and how many of them were actually exploited by a group of people that were very friendly to them up to the point where they did one thing that was considered taboo. Like for instance, J.K. Rowling, right? Like J.K. Rowling, surrounded by everyone is friendly with her, everyone is joking, everyone is using Harry Potter as leftist references. And she donates to Black Lives Matter. She donates to Open Borders. She's like completely left-leaning person. And the moment she says, "Yeah, I don't think like trans women are women," all the actors turned against her. And it's not like they disavow. It's like pure, unadulterated, burning hatred, like just absolute rage towards her, right? And so, was that like a relationship that was genuinely built on emotion? Like, if I like someone, if someone is my friend, legitimately, and they say something that I disagree with, I'm not going to like flip from 0 to 100 and all of a sudden be like this hatred towards them and like public disavowals and shit. No, right? And so like it leads me to assume that a lot of the relationships that feminism did were absolutely fake, and they were absolutely with the only purpose of promoting feminism. Like they weren't the relationships like trying to connect with humans, they were just political relationships, if you will. Kind of like in a political party. But it's like, why would I want to surround myself with people that just play politics? I want to have like genuine friends. I want to have like people that understand that I'm a human being with positive and negative qualities, that there are things about me that they should hate and things about me that they should like. Because like at the end of the day, that's how people are, right? And I don't see like the manosphere doing that. Like I'm looking at the subscribers that follow these people like Joe Rogan and stuff. They disagree with each other all the time. Like I don't think that if you go into a Andrew Tate community, which is like like his Twitter, right? And you look at the people tweeting there, if someone says something that's taboo in that community, and I don't even know what it would be, but like if they say something taboo, they won't get the J.K. Rowling treatment. Seriously, like there's almost nothing you can do into these manospheres where you would get people to hate you as much as J.K. Rowling got hated. You're worthy of love, but you also need to learn how to understand your emotions, to communicate and socialize properly. Yeah, again, it's like trying to teach someone to be charismatic. I don't think it's possible. You know, like, you can maybe do some improvements with their body language and teach them, okay, you need to stand up straight and you need to have this and that, but like, isn't this like what the manosphere is doing? Like when when you have like Andrew Tate telling people go to the gym. Why does he tell them to go to the gym? Well, it's to ingrain them into the homosexual culture that is the gym bro. Honestly, it's fucking weird. But like, okay, is the idea that if they start gaining some muscles and they start walking up a little bit straight, like they become a little bit more confident. But that's pretty much what you can do. Like you can't teach a person how to communicate and socialize properly. You can like at a superficial level, right? But like if you take a random individual, an introvert, and as I mentioned before, you put them in an office party, he's going to have to compete with like people that have genuine charisma, that do it naturally without being taught. And if he doesn't do at least at the 20% level, no one is going to notice him. So yeah, the whole woman hating incel thing, it's like, I don't know if feminists that were creating hashtag yes all men are rapists on Twitter, do you guys remember those? Because I remember them, but they were like in 2018, right? Hashtag yes all men are responsible, have a curfew for men. I don't think like this is the ideology that gets to lecture anyone else about hatred. And you know what? When I got on the internet in 2014, I genuinely was like this very liberal guy that believed that all people are the same and you should judge people based on their personality. Until I saw how the left behaved for more than a decade and a half. And I'm starting to believe that maybe human beings aren't built like that. Like maybe we can claim we're like that, but I have yet to see a person that genuinely, unironically, believes that everyone is the same, has no prejudice, has absolutely doesn't hold any stereotypes or anything like that about groups of people. Like, I'm sure that person must exist. And maybe Diara could bring them forward so I can examine them, and I would genuinely like to have a conversation. It's like, okay, so like you genuinely believe everyone is the same. How do you feel about Christian fundamentalists? How do you feel about radical Muslims? How do you feel about transgender activists? How do you feel about libertarians? How do you feel about Chinese people? How do you feel about Russians? How do you feel about Palestinians? How do you feel about people living in Israel? And if they were to tell me, it's like, no, I generally like I need to know the person. I can't tell. I need to speak with that person. I'll be like, okay, wow, that's interesting. But up until now, I haven't found a single human being that's like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.